Broadcasts of Hiki No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Hiki No founding underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through Hiki No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.
Aloha, I'm Ismael Salameh.
And I'm Malia Derden. Both of us are students at Farrington High School.
Farrington is a proud Hiki No school, and it is our pleasure to bring you this special edition of the nation's first statewide student news network.
Hiki No students cover a wide range of topics, but a recurring trend we've seen season after season is the theme of people lending a helping hand to those in need.
In this episode, we'll be taking a look back at past stories about service to others.
With Hiki No, focus on helping others.
Our first story takes us to the Kona side of Hawaii Island, where students from Kealakehe High School tell us about a community coming together to build homes for those in need.
It usually takes months to build a home, but last September, Habitat for Humanity, Let's Builder volunteers, and the Kona community came together to do something that many consider amazing.
This is our Laopua 2012 Blitz build, and we are going to build 5 homes in 10 days, from slab all the way up to completion.
Habitat for Humanity is a global non-profit organization whose vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to live. They've built over 500,000 homes worldwide, including almost 300 in Hawaii.
My hope is that the community realizes that this is a grassroots organization, and that together as a community we can improve our neighborhoods and our families if we all come together and help each other out.
So we're really grateful for the participation from the students from Kealakehe High School. On our first day of the build, as our Blitz builders from the minute we were arriving to the job site, they were in awe of all the students that stood along the sidewalks holding welcoming signs to them, welcoming to Kona, and just being thankful that they're here to help these families have their own homes.
I was mostly painting, hospitality, making sure everyone didn't, collapse from dehydration and stuff like that. I actually got to meet the person whose house was being built, so that was very nice, uplifting.
Families were selected from the Hawaiian Homes waitlist and had to meet certain requirements, including contributing 500 work hours towards the project.
When you do a partnership with Habitat, you have to volunteer X amount of sweat hours, and that means you need to participate in the building of your home. I don't know how to hammer big beams, but you know what? They took me by the hand, said, hey, I'll show you how to do it.
Helping others is pretty much probably one of the biggest goals you can have.
It's just been so enjoyable for myself and the entire staff at Habitat just to be part of this transformational development. Really, we're changing families' lives, so it's really pretty cool.
This house is not my house. My son-in-law and my daughter also know it's not their house. It's for our grandchildren, and we're just caretakers of this house for them. This is really important that they feel roots and belong, at a young age, not my age, but at a young age. So it's very dear and close to my heart.
The no-interest mortgage that these families pay go towards building a decent place to live for even more families in the future. This is Luke Vanderspool from Kealakehe High for Hiki No.
The following story from Seabury Hall Middle School on Maui shows how a simple act of kindness can have a positive impact on the other side of the globe.
Seabury Hall students are busy making hats on a loom. The hats program at Seabury Hall has been going on since 2005. Miss Debbie Davis, our middle school math teacher, started the program with the vision of brightening the lives of underprivileged children all around the world.
I wanted to find a project that middle school boys and girls could do where they give to other children around the world. What the HATS program does is they make hats, as you can see right here, all these different kinds of hats. They learn to do it on a round loom, and Each student makes hats. They are distributed to children all over the world. It's a project where it comes from the heart. They can do it, they complete it with their own hands, and it goes to somebody that they'll never get a thank you. They won't know which child gets it, but they know that they have helped some child somewhere in the world with the hats that they make.
Nick Corbett, a Seabury Hall freshman and former member of the hats class, went to Africa for a safari during summer break. During his trip, he visited a school and delivered hats.
When we would drive by, there was a little village, and they had like 2 schools, and the kids would always come out and they would yell "sweets, sweets," because they wanted us to give them candy. So we asked our guide where we should take the hats to, and he told us to go to this school.
Seabury Hall graduate Megan O'Malley visited Uganda on a missionary trip.
We went with a lady named Carol Adams who used to live here on Maui, and she moved there about 17 years ago and opened an orphanage, and it's called the Mana Rescue Home. It's for kids infected by HIV or AIDS.
Many of the children are also battling malaria.
When they are affected by malaria, they get very cold and they get the shakes, so the hats will keep them warmer.
We've had former students who have taken them. One student, when she was in college at Stanford, she delivered a bunch of hats to a country in Africa. One year we had a bunch of upper school students from Seabury take hats on their winterim to Peru. They rolled them all in their backpack, and all the villages they went to, they passed them out. We have delivered hats to Uganda, Rwanda, Peru, China, Russia, the Philippines, and then all over the United States.
We asked students in the hats class how they felt about making the hats.
Heartwarming and fun.
Well, I feel like I'm helping someone even though I don't know who it's going to. I still feel like I'm helping out in some way in the world.
The vision Miss Davis had has come to fruition as hundreds of children around the world have received the gift of a warm hat. This is Marley Maring for Hiki No.
Every once in a while, the need to help someone else arises very quickly, with little time to ponder an act that can literally save someone's life. Such was the case with 2 students from Kainalu Elementary on the windward side of Oahu.
We have a true story that really happened at Kainalu Elementary during recess.
What would you do if your friend was in trouble and needed help?
Here's the story of a couple of friends who experienced a breathtaking event, literally.
Let's meet Sam and Owen.
Well, during recess, I was eating my snack, and so my snack was a chicken sandwich. On the sandwich, I had lettuce on it, and when I chewed the lettuce, I didn't chew it very well, and then it ended up getting stuck in my throat. And when it got stuck in my throat, I started to choke. Then I ran over to the grass, and my eyesight got very, very blurry, and all I could see was some green blur, and then all of a sudden somebody came over to me and started doing the Heimlich Maneuver on me, and then I choked out the lettuce.
I saw Sam choking, so I ran over there and I remembered the 4 B's, which is one of the Cub Scout rules, which is be strong, be calm, be clear, and be careful, from one of the activity pages that I learned about. So when I went over there, using the 4 B's, I was able to perform the Heimlich Maneuver effectively and perfectly.
We had been discussing the terms literally and figuratively at home, and he came home from school the day that it happened and said, "Mom, I literally saved someone's life today." And I thought, well, okay, I thought he may have been exaggerating, but as his story progressed and he described what he had done for Sam, I realized that this actually happened.
Well, I got this award for saving Sam's life, and it's very important to me because it came from the commanding officer. And I'm very grateful that I learned all my Cub Scout skills so I could get this award.
Well, because of that heroic action that he made, I think that he really, really deserved to get that. I mean, if he didn't save me, then what would he do? He would probably feel like a failure.
I think it's really neat for all of us to know that a child as young as that can perform a life-saving maneuver.
So after that, I felt that I needed to join Cub Scouts because I could learn other life-saving moves to save other people, like family and friends and situations during recess.
Being saved by a friend is something that changed both of their lives forever. Now Sam and Owen are the best of friends. I'm Sophie. And I'm Erin, reporting for Hiki No for Kainalu Elementary School.
Sometimes, community service can take us to far-off places, and sometimes the giver of help gains as much as the receiver, if not more. Such was the case with a group of students from Maryknoll School on Oahu and their mission to Majuro.
I'm really scared to go to Majuro. I am hoping that I bring enough sunscreen.
I hope I can get along with the people that I'm going to be teaching, because I'm going to be interacting with them for 3 weeks.
Each summer for the past 20 years, a group of Maryknoll students travel over 2,000 miles to Majuro, located in the Marshall Islands, to continue the mission work of the Maryknoll Sisters by assisting with the summer program at Assumption High School. The Maryknoll students had the challenge of teaching incoming freshmen basic English lessons like nouns, adjectives, pronouns, and punctuation.
We had a ball, and we'd start off with a prompt, and as we throw the ball, the students would add on to the sentence. So we'd start off with something like, if I had $1 million, I would. And we'd throw the ball, and as the student receives it, what they would do is they would add on to the sentence.
I've been teaching them about basic pre-algebra skills, such as order of operations and factors.
Plus, mass equals answer. Good.
This year, an emphasis was made on science, specifically dealing with global climate change. Students also learned the basic science concepts of gravity, momentum, and force. The students were lucky enough to go on a culminating field trip to an outer island to take water samples and learn about the different plants that grew in the area.
We did a lot of hands-on science experiments that really relate to global climate change. So it gave the students a chance to be one with nature and to really understand, what global climate change is and how it affects their lives.
I think this trip changed my perspective on life.
For me, going on Majuro was such a humbling experience because I really got to connect with other people there.
A really big value that they have is family. In Majuro, everybody basically is family.
But I think we got to them because after that, they cried when we left. And in Majuro, they don't cry because it shows weakness.
When I first got there, I thought it was going to be really hard for me because I am so attached to everything I do on my laptop and my phone. But when I was there, it didn't seem important at all.
It was just an overall great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
This is Emerald Leong from Maryknoll High School, reporting for Hiki No.
Sometimes the greatest gift you can give to the community is information and awareness, especially when it comes to the prevention of life-threatening illnesses. Here's a story from Kapolei High School on Oahu about a young woman who shared her knowledge of a deadly disease in a big way.
Every year, 7.1 million people die in America from heart disease and hypertension.
Hypertension can affect your lifestyle by putting a lot of strain on your body. It can damage arteries, it can damage your heart, and it can damage your brain.
Jessica Takaro from Kapolei High School did her senior project on hypertension and tried to spread awareness because the topic has personal relevance to her.
It runs in my family genes. My grandma has it, my mom has it, and my auntie has it. So I wanted to know what I could do to help them treat it and hopefully help me prevent it, just in case I'm the next one in line to be diagnosed with hypertension.
The project became quite time-consuming.
The process for my senior project was very intensive and long. There was a lot of planning and research that I needed to do in order for my project to become a success.
She took the initiative. She took the initiative to come see me as activities coordinator to do something that, again, would benefit everybody.
I did a PSA to help advertise the event.
One of hypertension's biggest effects is heart disease.
That is why on September 28th, we are promoting prevention of hypertension and heart disease.
I also sold a lot of shirts throughout the week. I made a lot of advertisement, and I had to do a lot of meetings in order to set up performances and get this whole thing running.
But the hard work paid off, culminating in the biggest Red Out event ever held in Hawaii.
Well, Red Out, it's the American Heart Association. It's an event where they ask everyone to wear red. They also had t-shirts made. And it's to bring awareness about, heart health, basically.
During halftime of Kapolei football's senior night, the American Heart Association came out and demonstrated life-saving techniques and also brought some special guests with them.
Cardiac kids, raise your hand.
The cardiac kids who were born with heart disease, performed the haka with their shirts off to show their scars.
Having the cardiac kids come out and perform for Kapolei was an amazing feeling because it made me feel like I actually got the message out more towards the community. Seeing them do the haka with their shirts off and seeing their scars from their heart surgeries, it made it more heartfelt and real.
Jessica's project had become a passion.
Every 30 seconds, someone experiences a coronary event.
Hypertension is very easy to prevent or treat. It's just living a healthy lifestyle, like exercising at least 20 to 30 minutes a day.
For HIKI NŌ, I'm Kayla Fong.
Yes, it is important to give to other people in need, but it can be equally important to give back to our increasingly vulnerable environment. Here's a story from Kapolei High School on Oahu about just such an effort.
Preserving the beauty and culture of Hawaii is no small feat.
If you have healthy ocean, healthy land, you have healthy people.
For Kepa Mali of the Ho'akalei Cultural Foundation, it begins with the efforts and education of the youth.
So we got the kids out, the students out, and they did some wonderful job cleaning up some rubbish for us. We trimmed one of the poor little plants that's just been struggling, endemic Nio, and it gave them an opportunity to experience firsthand working the land and accomplishing something.
Charmaine Aquino of Kapolei High School speaks on the trash tragedy.
It makes me feel very disappointed that I'm part of the society and I'm the only one who's seeing it, and I see people just throwing the trash. I heard stories dumping all over the place, and it's just very sad. So that's why I'm kind of here, helping out one person at a time, making a difference. It's a good feeling after that, actually.
She also has sharp words for those who choose not to be part of the solution.
Shame on you, because everybody will make a difference by just picking one trash. Not even at the beach, but just around the environment, or our surroundings, our schools.
Ridding the beach of litter is only a portion of the preservation process. The other part involves the protection of native plant species.
This plant, the Nio, is of a variety that is endemic to Honolulu, Ahupua, where we're now standing. It's only found in this land division. We have Nio across the Hawaiian Islands, but this variety, Honolulu.
Every native plant has its own unique value in them, so that's why we would help preserve them.
You can actually see the little hibiscus-like yellow flower on it there. That's a Milo. That's one of the old growth native trees of this place. These trees once were spread across this landscape. They cooled the land, they nurtured the people, the woods of the Ko and the Milo. That blossom is rooted in one of the traditions of this place, and it was strung into lei that were associated with Ka'ahupahau, the shark goddess. So you got lei from it, you got shelter, You got beautiful wood from which they made their umeke, their calabashes like that.
It should be important to everyone to help preserve a culture.
O ke aloha ka aina, ahe mea kau maka alelo, o ia ka hana wale no. They said that, you know, aloha aina is not something that sits on the tip of your tongue. It's in the actions that you do, in the work you do.
The land and sea are not the only beneficiaries of these efforts.
You work with a group of students that's your age, younger, but it's a way of getting new friends and learning from different people.
For Kapolei High School and Hiki No, I'm Jewel Athral.
Yes, it is good to give to the community at large, but sometimes the people who need our help the most are the ones we live with, our own family members. The following story from Waianae High School on Oahu is a loving reminder that charity begins at home.
You just think about, like, oh, what if she tries to make breakfast and she leaves the stove on and the house burns down? Oh, she overdoses and she can't get to her phone and she's paralyzed on the ground.
Send a check to 87147 St. John's Road.
Hey, you remember our address?
It's a small victory for Edith Domingo
Where are you going? That's not to your room.
in a battle that she's losing every day.
At first it was funny because all the BP would just laugh and tease, but then kind of gets on your nerves after a while.
Why are you stealing my...
Edith is always up to something.
What do you usually do when we're not home?
Watch TV, and I eat, and I eat. And I read, and I read.
And she laughs, and she laughs.
Go ahead.
But the one thing she can't do
What did you eat at the spaghetti factory?
is remember.
Edith is one of 5 million people in the United States with dementia, a disease which causes a gradual loss of brain function. So even remembering her favorite grandchild isn't always easy to swallow.
Grandma, you took your pills?
Reminding her doesn't always get an answer, but the Domingos can still see the effect dementia is having on her.
I don't remember.
It's a really difficult situation for families when they have loved ones that have dementia, and even the individual may not realize, that they're not able to do as much as they used to do.
I think she gets frustrated, and some of it she gets scared. She frowns a lot nowadays. She just frowns.
This fear and frustration has caused Edith to hurt those closest to her.
She would just want to just fight and argue with Brina. Yeah, I think she punched her a couple of times. It was that bad.
But no matter how bad it's gotten, Brina has always been by her grandmother's side.
Yeah, I'm your favorite, Grandma.
With open arms and more than one way to solve a problem.
You're constantly repeating yourself, and it gets so draining and so exhausting that you just want to write it on a Post-it and stick it on her forehead, but you can't. Single scoop in the cake cone.
The Domingos are known for their creative solutions.
You want Cherry Jubilee, you said already.
Which are helpful when trying to ensure that Edith is in good hands.
I try to juggle time at home between schoolwork and helping Grandma. I love her. She took care of me when I was growing up. So now the roles are reversed.
It freaks me out sometimes. I would like to have someone home all the time to watch her, but can't have that, so we hope and we pray.
And
Clam spaghetti.
Lamb sauce.
They help her win as many of these small battles as they possibly can.
She's my mommy. She's my mom. Gotta take care, yeah. She's family, yeah.
This is Tressa Hoppy from Waianae High School, reporting for Hiki No.
We hope you've enjoyed this look back at Hiki No stories that celebrate the greatest of all human traits.
The desire to help others in need.
It's good to know that the future leaders of Hawaii place great importance on serving others.
It's another way that Hawaii students show that they, Hiki No,
Can do.
Be sure to tune in next week for another edition of the nation's first statewide student news network.
You know, as oral historians, we come with our set of questions for our interviewees. We come with a certain perspective. When I watch Hiki No, I notice that the student sometimes asks questions that we would not think of. And I think that's important, that a new generation asks their own questions to get new answers and to share with us a new view on things.
Broadcasts of Hiki No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Hiki No founding underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through Hiki No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.